Well, more than 20 civil society groups gathered on Tuesday morning at the Unity Fountain in Abuja to protest the non-assent of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari. The protest comes despite assurances by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, that the President will assent in a matter of time. Security agencies, including the Police and Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC), were on ground. The protesters later went on procession towards the National Assembly. Since 2018, Buhari had rejected the legislation 3 times, raising concerns that is not favorably disposed to electoral reforms and the conduct of credible elections in Nigeria. Well, joining me to discuss this further is political affairs analyst Mr. Chike Chude. Thank you very much for your time. Now, let's talk about this issue basically. What do you make of the perceived, the perception of many people that the President doesn't want to grant assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill?
Well, it's the attitude, the general attitude of the President. There's nothing that shows in the general demeanor of the President that is actually interested in getting this signed. If you look at the delays that led, and unfortunately, what is going on is that this President benefited from the electoral reforms that were conducted by his predecessors, and on the basis of that, he contested for the presidency of this country and became president. And he says he's anxious to bequeath a good legacy to the Nigerian people. I don't know what legacy the president can actually look at and touch. It cannot be the economy, cannot be security, cannot be anti-corruption. I think what would be one of his biggest legacies would be that he has, that he allows, he appends his signature to this electoral bill. It is critical, it is very important. And he has delayed it he has refused to sign it twice. The last time was in 2018, very close to the election, and he gave the nearness to the election as excuse for not signing it. And the last time he had an interview with one of the national television networks in the country, he was asked whether he would sign the bill if the National Assembly returns it back to him based on his previous objection about the inclusion of direct primaries. And he said, of course, he said it, in a way, a manner that suggested that, yes, it's important to him. So you would think that with that in mind, that he would have signed it immediately, the bill came to him. He just gives it to his people to vet it, to go through, make sure that there is no other contentious issue. But up till now, he has refused, and I want to look at it as a refuse because he knows how important it is to the country. He knows how much Nigerians have looked forward to this electoral bill. And at this particular point in time, INEC is beginning to sound warning alarms that it is becoming a problem for them if this bill is not signed, because they want to begin to make plans on the basis of the bill that has been signed into law. So it's sad. I think Nigerians are just very suspicious that he doesn't seem to have a good track record when it comes to reforming electoral laws in this country.
Now, speaking of the preparation window of 365 days given to INEC according to the Constitution, now if the President doesn't grant assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, what do you think will happen? What are the consequences?
Well, the National Assembly will have to put their money where their mouth is because it was the National Assembly that prepared the bill. And of course, the civil society organizations were involved in it. They were lobbying the National Assembly members. I know that one of the groups I belong to, Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room, also had to do special presentations to members of the committee on the in charge of electoral matters, and emphasizing the need for the bill to be signed into law, for them to do their own part. And I think they have done that. The members of National Assembly have actually done that. But if they do not get what they desire, then I think they should just go ahead. They have given the president enough deference. They have given him enough respect as the president of this country by adhering to his, by conforming to what he wanted earlier. That is the removal of direct primaries, that was earlier, provided for in the bill. So they have done enough And like I said, they've given him enough respect. So if the president still refuses to sign, then it is very clear that the president is set to truncate the electoral bill and does not want electoral reforms. Then the National Assembly should go ahead and ensure that they pass it, that they override the president's veto. And it becomes law automatically. So nothing is lost, even if this president says it's not going to sign it.
Well, indeed, Chike Chude, political affairs analyst, thank you very much for your time.